Power Ranking Episode 4, the SummonMancer. The favorite of, dare I say the word, casuals, the SummonMancer brings a high level of safety and easy play with decent enough damage to get most jobs done. Hopefully I've just offended casuals by using the C word and tryhard necros alike. If you like being offended, hit the sub button in the corner. God, it just feels dirty asking people to sub, but since literally 50 of you subbed the last time I asked, thank you. I suppose it's time to drop the whole douchey, hipster, isn't ironic the guy who hates YouTubers is making YouTube videos thing. Careful not to stare into the abyss, lest you ask for subscribers yourself. Anyway, before we jump into SummonMancer's rankings, here's a sneak preview of some classes we believe are indicative of a 10 out of 10 or a 1 out of 10 in a given category. Now, some of these we've ranked with normal, middle-class gear, and some we've ranked at the higher end of things. The reason for this is purely subjective. There's just certain builds and gear we feel are the essence of a class. I feel like a decked out Boazon with GG gear is indicative of 10 out of 10 AoE, because we've seen dozens of those GG Boazons because they got love in Season 2. I feel SummonZon is 10 out of 10 on safety because it achieves that score without GG gear. And we also don't feel like you've truly built a Smiter, for example, until you have Last Wish with Life Tap. So different gearing levels are axiomatic of that class, in our opinion. And that's sort of why we have it ranked like this. I'm open to changing these. Some of these I really don't have that strong of opinion on. I might fight people on Whirlwind when that comes out. But Playstyle Ease, like Combustion, I really do think that's a difficult class to play. I really do. But some of them I'm not so set in my ways on, like Single Target 10 out of 10 for Frenzy. Let me know. If you think you have a better example, just hit me up. So now on to the SummonMancer. Single target. Repeating common knowledge about summoners, you have great single target damage just due to the sheer number of minions on the field. You almost always go with skeletons plus something else, and if you nab some Crusher minions from Act 4, they have Crushing Blow, which makes Uber stomping incredibly easy. However, we suffer slightly from the same problem as SummonZon, where we have to clear a room before we stomp onto a big boss or baddie. SummonMancer does have the teleport, and you can target it a little bit, but we have no real way to direct that damage until we really clear the room. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 on single target. And AoE, this is going to be a really sore subject with people here, I know, but at the highest end, summoners with, +1 corruptions galore on gear, they can clear maps very quickly. Anything over plus 50 skills will feel really great, but again, taking our axiomatic assumptions of the class, most people will be sitting around 42 to 44 skill level on the summons. I've always found SummonMancer benefits from an active cursor, but if you've run pub maps, you know SummonMancers can be really lazy with those. And I always felt like the claims of SummonMancer speed never really live up to the play testing, in my opinion. So I think it's just average on AoE, 5 out of 10. Now, safety. All summoners are safe, and if you've played Summon, you know most of your deaths come from a bad telestomp. You don't have the ability to just one-click leech all your life back like SummonZon, so I can't make this a 10 out of 10, but it still tops 9 out of 10 here. Ubers. SummonMancer is phenomenal group tank for Ubers, but we don't really rank group play here. And when your Mercenary goes down, you know that your minions they don't pump out the damage like they should. So the SummonMancer will struggle a bit on damage for Ubers, with minions splitting off the target Uber spawns and the bosses essentially being curse immune, means you're dumping curses for very little effect. It really carves out a lot of the effective use of the Necro when curses only last a half second on a boss. That said, it will take a hot minute, but I've soloed down Ubers on a Players 3 map, for example, when my friends died. I just mixed in some Corpse Explosion to get my damage to the point I wasn't going to run out of mana pots. But the lack of damage, even if it is incredibly safe and great for groups, I think solo, it's about a 7.5 out of 10. It's certainly above average, but it's not near the upper echelon of Uber clear. Gearing ease. Oof. I made one of my first guides on SummonMancer, I think back in Season 3, because for some reason, everyone just did not pay attention to the Arm of King Leoric being changed to grant additional skeletons. Now, it wasn't my guide. It was after that season ran its natural course, though, everyone started to queue onto SummonMancer being a damn good class. Skillers rose to be the most valuable skillers to find, and that trend has continued even into the Crafting League. I mean, a 3-socket corruption on a Trang shield, which sets are meant to sort of be introductory gear to a class, that could net you a lot of high rune value. Plus, skill corruptions sold so fast on the trade set, I could basically ask any price for them. So while there's so many damn options to start easy on a summoner, you can just find gear, the sheer popularity and the expensiveness of the skillers for this class, it does make it the hardest character to gear in my opinion. Even the Necro chest piece requires 2 runes. I know, I said an expensive gearing jump isn't completely indicative of gearing ease, but the substantial variance in rolls on Arm of King Leoric and Necro shields, the need for +1 corruptions to really push this class far, and just being the most expensive fucking class to build for skillers, this has to be 1 out of 10. I think it's the hardest to gear. Playstyle Ease. Well, we can make up points here. The Necro is the easiest class to play in the game, really. I mean, in maps, your summons just won't die, and you have a teleport skill. You have curses to increase your damage, or even just slow the hell out of everything. I know Decrepify will come back next season, but it was still good to use even this season. You could even half-ass some points into Golem Mastery for extra tankiness. It's sometimes slow if not geared well, and it can be boring, but the easiest class to play in the game makes another appearance on our extremes of the scale here, 10 out of 10. So SummonMancer comes in at a 6.92 out of 10. I really thought this was going to end up at a flat 7, and I think you could give it some points, certainly maybe on AoE, because, you know, it can get very quick at high levels. But around a 7 out of 10 is where I think this class ranks just because of how hard it is to gear. You know, whether you like the play style or not, it's a safe class with decent damage and map clearing. Unless you're super rich, there's always some upgrade path to take with gear, and even if that intro cost can be an absolute bitch to get into. So thanks for watching, guys. I think that's all I have for this one, and I know what we have coming up. I'm going to try to get Whirlwind going. We're going to get Novasork, which we think is, again, indicative of one of our extremes on the class, and Summon Druid. Those will be done by Wapinator, so you can deal without my flourishy, bullshitty writing for those. But I will see you guys next time. Later.